If you like this video, make sure to visit our Vimeo page and follow us to get the latest update.
So I will be teaching you all the real-time scenarios, and also I will be covering withholding tax. Okay, so are you aware of withholding tax? What is withholding tax?
Not really. Not really.
Okay, withholding tax is nothing but tax deducted at source, that is TDS. So let me open that withholding tax here. Okay, so we have to we have two options here, that is withholding tax and extended withholding tax. And you know, this withholding tax is the old version, and extended withholding tax is the newest version. And it has as you know, like with the new with every new version every new version introduction by the SAP, some new you know, settings will be updated in SAP system. Okay, so we will be working on this extended withholding tax. Okay, so what is withholding tax? Withhold from the name itself, we can understand that some tax is being holded, right? Are you following?
Yes.
Yeah. So we call in India, we'll call it as tax deducted at source. Tax in taxes, like there are so many taxes, like taxes on sales, purchases, which is VAT, and service tax, and excise and customs. Okay, and TDS, that is withholding tax, and income tax. Okay, I mean, like, you know, when the employer pays salaries to us, he will be deducting some taxes. Whatever we are receiving from the employer is after tax deduction, right? Do you agree?
Yeah.
So that whatever the tax that has been withheld by the employer is called TDS. Okay, they will be depositing the tax, they will be paying the tax to the Income Tax Office of India. If it is in India, then it will be paid to our local country. In case if it is in, like, based local, that is local requirement, right? So it will be paid to the income tax. Okay, so let me put it down on the notepad, then it will be clear for you. This under it. Tax on sales, purchases, service tax, excise, custom duties, TDS, or withholding. WHT is nothing but withholding tax. Okay, and it was okay.
Okay.
So all these three taxes, I mean, these are just, you know, these are taxes, categories of taxes that have been listed here. Tax on sales, service tax, and customs and duties are now reported under GST, goods and service tax, right? And this is under income tax. Okay, so moving ahead, what is the purpose of TDS? Whenever the company makes a payment to the vendor, it is the responsibility of the company to deduct the withholding tax. Okay, as per the tax laws. Okay, local tax laws. From the amount payable to the vendors, depending on the nature of payment. Okay, certain payments are subject to tax deducted at source, and the rates are specified in income tax. Okay, as per Indian income tax, it is specified in Income Tax Act 1961, subject to the conditions specified under income tax laws. Okay, so as for the income tax, section 194I, which is relevant to TDS for rent, and 194J for professional tax, and 194C for contract. Okay, this section code represents, in IT, with withholding tax key. Oh, let me write it down. So what is the purpose of withholding tax? Purpose of withholding tax is nothing but to cut the tax based on the income tax laws. Okay.
Okay.
Are you following, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, great. And then let us see here as per sections. Which is TDS on rent. No need to remember all these sections. We have to just understand like how the configuration is done in SAP system. Okay. Three 194 C, which is contract. These section codes, what we will be doing is, these are just a description code. Okay, this we will be represented in the SAP as withholding tax keys. Okay, these are represented as WHT keys in SAP. We are not going to give this section, based on this section, the income tax, TDS has to be deducted. Rather, we will be giving withholding tax key, which is mapped to the vendor master. Okay, vendor or the customer master. Okay.
Yeah.
And these withholding tax will have withholding tax code, and that will carry the rate. You should have, the doubt will pop up in your mind that where the percentage rate for deducting the tax is updated. So for this withholding tax keys, we will be mapping withholding tax codes, which will carry rate. That is the percentage rate based on which the the TDS has to be calculated. Okay.
Yeah.
This is how the configuration goes in SAP system. Deduct the TDS either at the time of there are two types of tax deduction for withholding tax. It can be deducted at the time of payment or at the time of invoice, whichever is earlier. Okay, in case if we are making down payments at the time to the vendor, then at the time of down payment only for that transaction TDS will be deducted. Okay, and in case if we are proceeding with the invoice, then at the time of invoice we have to deduct the withholding tax, that is a TDS. Okay, whichever is earlier, and these rates will be specified as per the, and that depends on the beneficiary. That is nothing but the company code. Okay. So, for example, let's say, our employees will be giving us Form 16, right? At the end of the year, assessment year, financial year. For the assessment, they will provide Form 16, Form 16B, and Form 16 Part A and Part B, which will give you the details of tax deducted for the salary that is paid to you, right?
Right.
So those are called TDS certificates. Okay, which will serve as an evidence for that the tax has been deducted and it is your salary is after income tax deduction, that is tax deduction. Okay, which is deducted by the employer only, and they will be paying directly to the government. IT. Okay. So here in SAP, this beneficiary is called as the, let me show you that. Recipient company. We will be defining the companies here, recipient types. In that, we will be defining the company codes. Recipient is called the company in SAP system for TDS. Okay. Nothing but the company. Okay.
Yeah. Will you be able to write the T codes?
Yeah. No. See, just this is over. I mean, giving the complete introduction of withholding tax. Later on, we will move to the configuration.
Okay.
Okay. So as I said, there will be two types of withholding taxes at the time of one second. At the time of invoice posting and at the time of payment posting. So we will be defining the withholding tax type here, which will hold the that is section code, and will be assigning the withholding tax to withholding tax keys, withholding tax codes, okay, which will hold the rate. If you see here, for the current settings, I will, for example, here I'm given 10%. Okay, so this is how the rate will be mapped to the withholding tax code. Okay, so and how the account, the GL account will be determined for posting the transaction, that is TDS. This has to be posted to one of the GL account, right? And this account determination happens in OBWW transaction that I will show you, where we will be linking withholding tax key and withholding tax code. That is withholding tax type and withholding tax code. We will each of the term we will go in depth while doing the configuration. Okay, so now let's get into the configuration. So any doubts still here?
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, all okay.
Okay, right? Yeah. Now the first setting is to check withholding tax countries. So you need to check your company code is US company code, right? Any candidates from US?
No.
Okay, so in India it is called as Income IT Act 1961, whereas this reporting is called as TDS reporting, and whereas for US it is withholding tax reporting, and usually their local requirement is to provide these details with 1099 reporting. Okay, that is called the report name is called as 1099. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Now let me show you the country of your company code, where you can see the country of your company code in the table 1001 3001, or else you can go to OB/6 transaction. Right.
Right.
AFS1.
AFS1.
Yeah. So this your company code country is US. So let us take US, since our local local country is US, so we have to check whether US is mapped for this withholding tax. Yeah, we do have. So these are the areas like cities in the US country. Okay, so it is almost like, in case if any for example Michigan is there, if not, if the any withholding tax country is missing here from the US, then you can map it here. Let us see whether it's already there. So that's the reason it is not allowing. So we will be if something, usually as per the standard, the SAP in SAP, all the countries will be maintained for particular, all the cities will be maintained for the particular country, for the particular region. But in case if something is missing, then you can map here by clicking on new entries. You can map the the country and the withholding tax city. Okay. So as of now, we are not maintaining here since we have monetized. Michigan is a city over there. I think Michigan comes under which on the US region, which region it will fall under? Let's see. It is it is a city in one of the US country, right? So it falls, and I'm not exactly sure about this country under which it falls in US, but in that US, which regional country, I don't know. But Michigan is Malwai. It is saying as Malwai. Michigan is, I think, MA. Nice. Okay. So we need to.
Or only Michigan and not anything.
Let's see. Like I will configure this way. Already exists. So based on the region, particular country, it will. Let me check once. Yeah, Pushpa, you were telling something?
I was asking why are we only looking for Michigan and not
No. Just since all the countries have been mapped, right? So I'm trying to update Michigan here, but it is not allowing me since all the codes which are related to, it is falling under one of the countries, so it is not allowing me to maintain. So not an issue. We can take like since for US country, all the region for US particular region, all the countries have been mapped here. So in case if you think any of the country is missing, then we can map here by clicking on new entries. Okay. So you can just write the country code and that is region code, that is US, and the withholding tax country, and give some description and save it. Okay, that will be saved in the TR. So once this is done, since we already we are using the standard country, so we are not maintaining anything here. Okay, for US. Are you following?
Yeah.
Understood, right?
Yes, okay.
Yeah. Now, withholding tax we have mapped, and now we'll add. Let us see whether at least I'll show you one for adding. I'll add for India. It is already there. So no need. Actually, for previous classes, I have configured all those, so that's it. Okay. Anyhow, so hope you understood how to configure this withholding tax countries, right? Any doubts in this?
No, no.
Okay. So moving ahead with the define withholding tax case. So you have to in the previous configuration we have mapped our country. Okay. So now we have to configure withholding tax keys. Okay. So I'm just giving what is our country code? US. So you have to give country key as US and then click on enter. So here for US I have given withholding tax for you. So because this is the reporting the section code for US for withholding tax, so that's the reason I have given this 1099. So because this was this is the one time setting, and this is not maintained for particular company code, so it is client level. So whatever the configurations that I have done is at client level, so that's the reason they are reflecting here. Okay, don't think that it is by default it is coming like this. So there are standards in SAP, standard sections in SAP, but the thing is that we have to enter the official key, that is the section code, the relevant section code for configuring for our company. Okay. So I have updated, just give the new entries, give the official key. Well, in case for country India, we are giving the section codes. I'll show you for country India as well. I have configured for India as well. For country US, the section code is 1099 reporting. So I have mapped this section code and then the description. Okay, just giving the description and the section code. Let me give IN. If you see here, I have configured all these sections here. These are called as official keys in SAP system. And this section code will be assigned to the withholding tax keys. Okay, so I will show you that as well. So these are called as section codes. Okay. And now this is done, and now we'll move on to recipient types. We'll be mapping our company code. What happened to my system? And in case of any exempted keys, any exempted sections, we can update in this area. Okay, this configuration which is relevant for reasons for exemption. In case if any transaction is out of our income tax scope, then we can define the reason for that. Because when you assign any tax when you assign any withholding tax type which carries withholding tax rate, then definitely the system will consider for cutting for calculating the TDS. But when you give the exemption region, then that won't calculate. That means the transaction is exempted. It is out of income tax scope, right? So they don't need to deduct the TDS for that transaction. For those cases, we will be giving the exemption region and also the text, and just save it. So since I have already configured, so it is showing you this, and recipient types. So here we will be giving the company codes for the withholding tax type. Before that, we need to configure withholding tax type. First, let us configure withholding tax type and then come to this part. Okay. Now, withholding tax type under calculation, extended withholding tax. You can see here, right? Financial accounting, under financial accounting, global settings, withholding tax, extended withholding tax. Under extended withholding tax, we are making the configurations. Okay, we are doing all the configurations under extended. Till now, what we have done is basic settings, and now we are moving on with the calculation part where we will be defining withholding tax types and withholding tax codes, which will carry the percentage rate for calculating the TDS part. Okay. So as I said, define withholding tax type for invoice posting and define withholding tax type for payment posting. So we have to define two tax codes here. That is two tax types here, one for invoice posting and the other for payment posting. Okay, what are the tax code that is, for example, if we are using V1, let's say like for our company code AFS1, so let us take A1 and A2. So A1 is for invoice posting and A2 is for payment posting. So you cannot use the same code, that is A1 and A1 for payment posting and for invoice posting. Okay, we have to define a different key. So, and these two character code, withholding tax type or withholding tax code, will be confirmed by the business. We are not supposed to do give whatever the code that we need, that we want. Okay, so that needs to be confirmed, that will needs to be decided by the business only. Okay, we are not authorized and we are not supposed to do that. We have to take the confirmation from the business. We have to have a couple of discussions with them and then decide the code, what needs to be configured for invoice posting and what needs to be configured for payment posting. So since enter your country code and click on enter. See, this is, I have configured V1. So previously, let us configure A1. Previously, I configured this. Just I'm just copying this, changing it to A1. So here I'll show company code AFS1. Okay, I'm defining this A1 withholding tax type for company code AFS1. So here calculation on what amount, or what is the base amount for calculating withholding tax. So we are considering it as gross amount. Net amount in the sense like in case VAT has to be deducted, then VAT will be deducted and then withholding tax will be calculated. Like that it is. In case if we are giving as gross, like for example, let's say in our invoices ₹100 and VAT is 10. Then first it will calculate VAT, that is it will deduct the VAT out of 100. Then it will comes to 90 and on that 90 the system will calculate withholding tax. But whereas if we are giving gross, then on 100 it will calculate it. But for example, withholding tax code rate is 2%, then on 100 it will calculate 2%. In case if it is net, then it will calculate after deducting VAT. Okay, that is on 10, 90, 100 minus 10 is equal to 90, 90 into 2%. Like that it will calculate. Okay, are you following, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir,
So yeah, please. Someone is. Hello, who is that?
Aruna, for example, suppose you're saying that you need to deduct, no? Suppose base amount only they will calculate, no, for tax.
Yes. See, that's what I'm telling you. VAT is there. Okay. In case if that transaction is the business is supposed to deduct VAT, then calculate VAT. Then definitely VAT needs to be considered, right?
Yes.
So after deducting all the taxes, then on that it will be this will be deducted. Withholding tax will be deducted.
Okay.
And also, for example, any discounts, net in the case discounts. Net amount as the base amount for calculating the withholding tax. Okay, discounts will be deducted. I mean, whatever the that are supposed to be deducted from that invoice, first it will deduct all, and then on that TDS will be deducted. Okay, are you following?
Yeah.
So this is very important part, we have to select this, and then withholding tax round off, just nothing but rounding of the value. Okay, and these are all basic settings: base amount, withholding tax level, and withholding tax code level. So these are all basic settings, and post withholding tax amount for posting it is. For each and every field, you can click on F1 and then see what is the purpose of this particular field. Okay, you can check this. Okay, this indicates that amount will be calculated and posted for that particular transaction. Just click on enter and then save it. So we have created, we have configured our withholding tax type as A1. Okay, and for this withholding tax type, we will be updating, that is, we will be assigning the section code. I will show like where I will be assigning that. Okay, and then let us define one more withholding tax type for payment purpose. So here I have defined V2. Let me copy this. Just like what we have configured for invoice posting, just in the same way, we are configuring for payment postings. Okay, we are configuring code as withholding tax code as A2 for withholding tax type, for company code AFS1. Okay, just like how we are, the base amount, that whatever the settings that we have done for invoice posting, that will be continued same for payment posting. And also here, in case if something like whatever, in case you will get a doubt here that when at the time when withholding tax is deducted at the time of invoice, and the same for the same transaction if the payment is made, because we are maintaining withholding tax at master data level for the vendor, so definitely the system will pop up this withholding tax keys at the time of payment. So how, whether the system will consider the previous withholding tax payment and then allow us to post the transaction for making the payment, or else the system will stop us populating this withholding tax keys, right? So there are some settings here. No central invoicing, not applied to the withholding. If you set this indicator, central invoicing, it is not applied to this withholding tax type. Central invoicing is a special method for dealing with lines that are linked to other dependent documents like customer or vendor memos. Okay, this link is entered when the dependent documents are posted by specifying the invoice reference fields, document number, fiscal year, and line. This is what I said, like in whatever the linked documents are there, that will be considered here. So by looking at the original document, the system won't deduct withholding tax here. Okay, are you following?
Yeah.
So when, for example, the advance payment is made, and then the invoice, now we are posting the invoice at the time of advance payment to the vendor. At that time itself, the transaction is applicable for withholding tax, so we have to deduct withholding tax, that is TDS, at that instance. So we have deducted it, and then at the time of invoice, again the system will populate. Because why the system will populate here? Because it doesn't know, like since it is deriving these details from the master data, then definitely it will pop up. If you will see this, you will get to know about this, you will understand better when you post the transaction. Okay, at that time we will see. Okay, so these are the things that we need to select, and then save it in your TR. And then we'll be defining withholding tax codes. Give the country code. If you see here, for the already defined withholding tax code, here we are mapping the rates. Okay, so how to link that section code for the withholding tax? Like as I said, like section code will be linked, right? So we'll be linking that section code here. Let me show you. Okay, let me copy this. A1 and I'll give for A1, I will give A1 itself for the withholding tax. So we have defined this A1 as withholding tax key, right? So here you can see withholding tax type. Okay, and then this is we need to configure this here. We need to give the code. Like if you give the same code, then you will understand. You'll get to understand like, okay, this is applicable for this. If you give a different code, then it will be like confusing. So we need to give the similar code, that what you are giving tax type, and you have to have the same code for tax code, that is withholding tax code. So here you will be mapping the withholding tax key. You have to just whatever the section codes that have been given as the official codes, all those details will be populated here. You have to choose the right one. Okay. In our case, it is 1099 code. So we are choosing that section code. Okay. So let's say 10% on invoice posting. So we'll be mapping the rate here, and how much the base amount, whether to consider 100% or whether to consider 90%, like whatever the amount that needs to be, all these details will be we have to conclude these details with the business only, because we are not the persons to write whatever we want here. Okay, we have to get all these details whenever a requirement comes to you for withholding tax configurations. Usually you won't get in case of support projects, you won't be getting like from the scratch, right from the scratch. So in case if it is withholding tax is not at all activated in that client, then definitely you have to do it from scratch. It will become a project, because a lot of testings have to be done, and all such things, and a lot of discussions, and deciding the the section codes and the transactions and all these things. So it will take, and it not only, as we are working on demo system, we don't know like how many people are involved here, because withholding taxes, like we'll be not directly calculating on the transactions which are posted from FI. Invoices posted from FI is called one-way invoice. When it is posted from it is called two-way invoice, because we are integrated. That is integrated with FI, and with reference to materials we are posting. So the system will generate one material document, right? So are you all following?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is called two-way posting. So it will when it comes to FI direct invoice posting, it is directly done through FB60 or FB70 for vendors and customers, whereas in two-way invoice posting, it is like ME21, and you have to create purchase order and MeGo and Miro, right? So these are all two-way postings, because we are posting the invoice with the reference to something with the way of right? So it is the invoice is coming through so that is called that's the reason it is called as two-way invoice. And and in case of ST also the same. That is first is FI posting, FI sales posting, that is FB70, and then when it comes to two-way invoice, that is billing for sales orders, creation of sales orders VA01, and then VN01 delivery, and then billing VF01. Okay, so you have to remember. You all know about P2P and O2C cycle, right? I hope Lavanya ma'am has taught you this.
Yes.
Yeah. So like P2P and O2C are totally relevant to FIMM and FIST integration, right? When you are posting an invoice, like in demo system, in the demo system, you will be posting directly from FI. That is, you will be using FP60 and FP70 for posting the invoices and purchase invoice and customer invoice. But whereas in real time, you will be seeing this all two-way postings only. Most of the cases, to very rare cases, you will be finding like when they are preferring to post any one-time vendor or one-time sales. In that cases, they will be using this manual postings. That is, manual postings are nothing but FI postings, okay, which are posted if they tell you that it is a manual invoice, then you have to consider that it is a one-way posting. Okay, so usually these terms you will come across when you get into real time. Okay, so you have to learn all these terms. Hope you are following.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you will be updating the rate here and then just click on save. Okay, and now we define one, that is for invoice posting. And what about payment posting? We have two separate areas for configuring withholding tax type for invoice posting and withholding tax type for payment posting. But for tax codes, that is withholding tax codes, we have only one area. We'll be defining both for payment and assigning the rates for payment and invoice in the same area. Okay, just I'm just copying, but you have to configure it in your system. Since I have the previous configuration, I'm just taking that as reference and copying it. Okay. So I'm doing it. I'm taking it as, let's say, 4%. Okay. Okay, posting indicator. You see here what this says. If you set the posting indicator to 1, withholding tax amount is deducted from the customer vendor line amount and or bank line item, and withholding tax line item automatically. That means when you select this one, then it will create a separate line item for withholding tax. Okay, that is the GL account gets pop up. When you select 2 grossing up, the system automatically creates 2 withholding tax lines with opposing debit and credit. That means it will nullify. Okay, the withholding tax amount is then increased by the factor. This is some calculation where P is the withholding tax rate. We cannot choose this option if withholding tax scale applies. So these are all like, the formula calculations. If the posting code is set to 3, the system automatically creates 2 withholding tax line with opposite. That is like nullifying. So we usually select 1 because we need a posting to withholding tax separate line. A separate line has to be created showing the amount of withholding tax deducted. Okay, for the transaction. So we usually use posting indicator as 1. Okay, then just save it. Save in your TM. Okay, so earlier earlier we used to have this business place. Yeah, earlier for Indian income tax purpose, we usually define this business places, and previously this configuration, this is not under not fall under business area. Business places will not fall for US, but we'll be defining this business places for India, factory business places. Okay, so it represents the place which is responsible to deduct the TDS. We can define our own and can have multiple business codes. Here we can define multiple business places, and for each business place we will be assigning the factory calendar. Okay, so for Indian company codes we need to define this, and business places we need to define and assign the factory calendars, and then maintain due date, tax due dates, and also define section codes for that section code. And then again this will be we'll be activating that business place for that particular country as well. Okay, these are the additional settings for Indian company codes. So for example, company code, section code, and then they will be defining like this: section codes, business places, and then section codes. Let's say company code. This is how the configuration goes for section codes. Business place will be for this section code will, I mean, nothing but the company code itself, and for this we will be assigning the factory calendar, because in case of any transaction happens on holidays, the error message will be displayed. So because on holidays there won't be any transactions, right? So that will be considered, and for reporting also it is very important, like how the transaction, when the transaction had happened, and in case if it is on holiday, like why they had to post on holiday. All these details will get to know. Okay, so since our company code is US, so we don't need to have this defined. Okay, so for US company codes, we don't need this settings. Okay, we have defined withholding. What all we have done till now? We have defined what configurations we have done. Can anyone recollect? Check countries, right? Withholding tax, and then official keys, nothing but section codes, withholding tax types for invoice and payment postings, and for this withholding tax codes. Correct? Okay, so we have done with that and defined formulas for calculating. I mean, this is all based on formulas. Manually calculating, like a manual formula will be defined here for calculating the withholding tax. Since we are going with the rate, usually in US and also in India, we usually follow the percentage rate. Very rare cases we will follow this formulas. Most of the till now, what I have seen is we have never used this formulas. We have directly used the rates. Okay. And now let us go to the company code. Assign withholding tax types to company. We have defined recipient codes as well. Recipient types. We have defined, right? We have not defined, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let us define recipient types. For the withholding tax code, we have to assign our company. To just give the company for AFS1. And then going to company code. Assign withholding tax types to company codes. I will put it here. Okay, assign withholding tax. Let us see whether our company is, we have not updated, right? So that's the reason we want to just click on new entries, give the company code AFS1. What is our withholding tax type? Can anyone tell me? This is very, very important area where you can see there are a lot of options here. What is this? assign withholding tax type to company code. So what all the configurations that we have done till now, we have to map it to our company code. Okay. So click on new entries. If this one, what is our withholding tax type? Are you there?
A1.
Yes. So we will be mapping A1 and A2 here. The recipient type is
V.
A1.
V1.
See,
Okay.
yes, very good. And then we are first we are looking at the, see here you can see vendor data and customer data. So if this withholding tax is applicable for vendor, then we need to select this area. In case if withholding tax is applicable for customer data, then you have to select subject to withholding tax. Okay, so these two, like this is one of the interview question where you can make settings for vendor and customers. Okay, usually till now I have not configured withholding tax for customers. Most of the cases I have configured withholding tax for, like I have seen working on withholding tax only for the vendors, but recently I have worked for customers for Mexican countries. So it depends. Okay, so based on the local requirements, like for the transaction, in case if that is applicable for withholding tax, and for customers or vendors, we have to make the configuration here. And in case if the same cannot be applicable for both the customers, like we have to define a separate withholding tax code. Like that's what we have done, and we have followed till now. Okay, are you following?
Yes or no?
Yeah, withholding tax obligation from, and no need of updating these details. Obligation. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Sorry.
Okay, from date, let us give, it's a mandatory field. And yeah, giving the start date and till what time, I mean the applicable time. Okay, just save it. And now we have to configure one more, which is for A2, right? Which is for payment. Just select A2. And then select A2 here. Save it. Okay, so position, we can see our withholding tax. I mean, we have assigned for the company code. What we have done here? Can anyone explain? What
We
we have
assign
done?
we have assigned the whatever case.
We have assigned, we have made this withholding tax type applicable for our company code. Okay, mapped this withholding tax type for company code, so that the in this company code the business can use this withholding tax codes. Okay, so yeah, activate extended. We have done this, but we have done all the configurations, but the next step is we have to activate extended withholding tax, so that we can proceed with the withholding tax, TDS deduction for the transactions. Let us see whether our company is populated here. Since we have configured, since we have made, we have applied 2 of the withholding tax type to our company code. That's the reason it had updated. Our company code is updated here. Okay, so just click on select this. If we are selecting this, we have here extended. If you select this indicator, you activate withholding tax for process. If you are selecting it, you have to, your company code is active for withholding. If you are not selecting, then it is deactivated. Okay, this is what it says. Okay, you are activating withholding tax function. So once you activate this withholding tax, then these withholding tax types can be seen in your that is vendor master data. Let us first, before proceeding ahead, let us first look into our master data, like whether the system is do you have any vendors and customers created? Okay, let me go with tables. Slowly. Let me close it down. Okay. Can you all see my screen? Yeah. So we have these many vendors. Let us see. Extended withholding tax functionality is not active. Can you see this? Since we have not activated, so that's the reason it is popping up. It will not allow us to proceed ahead since it is not activated. You observe the case, right? Like I'm trying to show you like how, I mean, with that activation, before activation and after activation. Are you following, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So let's move on to the activation part of withholding tax. Not sure what happened to the net. Maybe it is network issue or server issue. It's taking longer than usual. One second. Yeah. Extended, we are working on extended withholding tax. Company code, activate. We have completed basic settings and calculation part, and now we are working on company code, working on configurations in company code area. Okay. Assign withholding tax type to company codes is done, and now activating withholding tax. select your company code, and then activate the extended withholding tax and click on save. Done. So let's get into this vendor master. I have to close this and then open again. Since the session is already open, so that's the reason. It is processing. Okay, so then you have to assign the withholding tax country and withholding tax code and withholding tax type here, so, and making this vendor liable for withholding tax. And tomorrow we will proceed with the rest of the configurations, that is how the withholding tax posting will be, that is account determination for withholding tax type is done, and the configuration and the reporting part, and also the scenarios on withholding tax. Okay, tomorrow at the same time we'll meet, and then we'll complete that part. Okay. Because the system is also giving trouble, so that's the reason we'll wind up the call today. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to visit our Vimeo page and follow for more upcoming videos.